Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations with Chaos Counseling.
Woo! We switched
That's such a mouthful.
We switched out Jesse for Luke.
Yes.
Yas.
Jesse is off hanging out in Texas, so
Yeah, at a convention, right?
yeah.
Yep.
At no, it's San Japan. That was it, San Japan.
Nah, yeah.
So
It's
say
not
hi to her. if
Comic-Con?
you're- What?
I thought it was This one was Comic.
Oh no, that was last convention she
That
went
was
to.
oh,
Kamea-con's
okay, I
in
don't
April-ish.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So
We finished this testimony last time, but except we need to present some shiz.
Yep.
looks like I was torn off some clothing.
The feck?
Well, I've been waiting for a long time to voice some Luke at me.
Mr. At Me, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours?
Ah!
Such a big difference! Holy crap!
This belongs to the criminal mastermind. My arch nemesis, Mask Star, the Mask.
Damien?
It is.
It is Damien.
It
Sorry.
is in point of fact.
You know, I came up with this voice for him. I've just used it
For Damien, yeah.
In fact, Master Mask brooch.
It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened.
Ah, elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough.
Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing.
Ripped off. Aha! Whoa! Aha!
We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person who was on security duty that night. You, Detective At Me.
Gasp! Nice! That was in sync!
Oh, by the way, I'm just throwing this out there for any new viewers. If you want to send us any sound audio files, we'll
Oh, yeah, we
sometimes
wanted
put
to
it
do
in.
that.
We'll
Oh,
put
yeah.
it in when the courtroom reacts.
We haven't gotten any, so that's why it hasn't happened.
Yeah,
But,
we talked
talked
stuff.
we talked about it when we were doing the first game, so yeah.
I guess
Just-
that's a thing.
Detective At Me, you must have fought with the thief that night. So why did you lie in your testimony to the court?
Happy. So, witness giving false testimony is a serious crime. Wait, that's Grossberg. I can't do that.
Wait, but sir, old timer.
Don't talk to me like I'm going to live in a nursing home.
Shut up. I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately.
Right.
I don't believe it.
I've also been waiting a long time to voice him. I went through like 4 different voices before I picked one. The true measure of a man is the amount of work he does. That's what I always say.
Hi, Sean Connery.
Hi.
That's not my Sean Connery voice.
Oh.
That's my Bane voice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's that.
Oh, it is his bane.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was actually what I was thinking of.
Nick, you can only handle one case at a time. Isn't that right?
You talk too much.
Witness, so are you now saying that you and the thief fought?
Fought. Yes.
Yes.
Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor.
Now I'm hearing it. Now that okay. Excuse me?
Save the big questions for the testimony. That is one of my rules.
Indeed, I understand. Look at me. Agree completely.
Fight with the thief.
Dun, dun, dun.
Indeed, it is true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, look at me. Cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fist, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true, and blam! Not all he won't.
I mean, if you read the right fan fiction.
We can talk about that openly in the series.
Oh boy. So in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Mask to Mask.
Correct. It was during the third crime that he struck me from behind. Seems that my memory has become a tad bit jumbled and discombobulated, so to speak.
Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case.
Sure you do.
That can't be good.
When is anything the judge agrees with good?
Pretty much.
Okay, so
Shall we explain to Luke the fan fiction thing?
Do I even want to know? I've read
Maybe.
Sunshine's... I've read Sunshine's Phoenix Wright fanfic. I don't know if I do.
you know what? Maybe it will be a fun thing for him to find out.
Right, just like the other things I found out and I've had to hit you over, Flays.
I promise that when you find this out, you're gonna be like, oh, that's where the joke came from.
Can you tell us a little more about what happened?
Just like the babies.
My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious.
If you read the right fanfiction. I'm next to a mic, don't touch me.
Oh, hi, Mike.
Oh, goodbye! Goodbye!
Power-icious.
Harry Potter closet he goes. He's quit. Okay.
Okay.
I assumed he had to be fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me.
We're protected by microphones.
It's kind of nice having our own microphones for that sense.
Yeah.
That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me.
This microphone is worth more than my life. It's great.
What should I do? What should I ask about more about this?
You that you were blinded at me fighting style.
What is this at me fighting style?
I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. Really can't say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to a wall. That way no one can get behind you.
If there are any children here, you might want to leave.
Things are about to get weird.
You're done with the gay joke, Sunshine.
No, I am too sexy for you.
I will unplug your microphone.
The leg goes up.
Yep.
The leg.
That's it? That's the at me fighting style?
Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony?
Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique after all.
Indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night.
When my eyes beheld and ears sight.
Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out.
Now then, witness. We'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony.
I just love how that's part of his testimony. I put my back to the wall to fight.
Detective at me, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards.
What? I never watched that show. What? What fun is this, Mr. Lawyer? Is it truly a pleasure? It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you.
Okay, you're done. I'm not kidding, Sunshine. You're done.
There's a reason why whenever at me comes up, our initial reaction is, well, if you read the right fanfiction.
And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet.
I believe this is what you said yesterday.
Now the crowd must have wormed his way in through. The coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. And my arch nemesis struck me in the head from behind with this gruesome item here.
From behind, huh?
But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you're hit on the head.
You made another mistake.
Detective at me, that's not the only strange part of your testimony.
What do you mean by that?
For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security.
The genius such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad.
That's wrong.
To err is human, to forgive is divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls and feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate, Mr. Trite. And yes, they even make mistakes.
Hey, hold on. It's not as pretty as that.
Isn't it? Really? What is it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. How am I speaking through hot coffee?
Magic.
Pizza! We should probably explain what
Yep.
happens.
Yeah.
Hello, we're back from our little tiny mini pizza break, and it turns out, in the midst of said pizza break, Luke got a text from work and he had to rush to go help and deal with cleaning the kitchen after a coworker started feeling sick, so.
Yeah, it's super sucks.
And it's because we literally are up the street, so we're the closest. It's stupid.
Yeah. It's not...
It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate,
So
but...
I think this is going to be a very short session with us, I think, just so...
Well, one episode at least.
Yeah.
Or like a few, but yeah.
A few, yeah, so we'll see. Okay, continue, Nick.
This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around.
Mr. Wright. Tip tap, tip tap.
The judge just walks out to get pizza, and the tip tap comes in and is like, I'm ready.
What exactly is it that you're asserting? Tip tap, tip tap.
Very well, Your Honor.
It's so small.
The defense asserts that...
Mr. Atme is no ace detective. Ace detective!
Detective!
Mr. Atme is masked.
Oh, that's interesting.
This ruins all my fan fictions.
Aww. Well, if you read the
It's okay. They're self-love fanfics, I'm sure.
The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atme's trade identity is actually Mask the Mosque.
Yeah! Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atme's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scenes, which is why no one ever saw him there. And in this last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure.
That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at,
Oh, please. The explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atme. The truth is that you are, in fact, Mask the Mosque.
But Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows Mask the Mosque. This security camera belongs to Lordly Taylor Department Store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it, Tip Tap.
He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed as the thief and stole the urn.
So, the ace detective
Ace
is
detective!
actually an ace thief?
Ace thief!
Who are these people? Is this true, witness? Not the bus. I just choked on.
Oh gosh, are you okay?
It's okay. Spit got caught in my
Oh,
throat.
okay. I was like,
Don't mind me, I'm just dying. Demasimo is pure genius, and so am I. Look at me, Ace Detective. Ace Detective. Thank you. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, Sir Lawyer. What? Witness, you're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance.
Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atme, when you assume the thief's identity...
I love Godot.
Godot blend, number 102. My personal favorite.
Mr. Godot?
The ace detective,
Ace Detective!
thank you, is actually an ace thief.
Ace thief.
Thank you. I smell a best-selling novel.
Or fanfic.
Or fanfiction.
I would read this.
I mean, they're both interchangeable sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's only one problem. It simply isn't true.
But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I
will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of a whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt. Mr. Trite.
Oh, his name's Trite. Tap, tip, tap.
If this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the copy Coffee. Son of a gun. Coffee dripping down your face.
I can't do that because I need to go to the hospital.
I am suffering burns!
Probably of the 3rd degree. Well, Mr. Wright, I don't know what's in my notes, shit. Don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have, quickly.
My face. Oh yeah, yes, of course. What's the big rush?
To get you to a
Are
hospital.
you all right, Nick?
No.
Atme looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. But can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Luke Atme is in fact Mask the Mask.
It's right here, or has yet to be found.
Proof? Of course I've got nothing.
Just what I thought. Gulp. A man has to hold his head up high, no matter how bad things get, after all.
Ugh.
I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion.
This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is a thief.
Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again.
It's no good. Just not ready yet.
But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So, you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer?
I can't think of a counterattack at all.
It seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, if you have anything further to add... who? Hi.
Hi.
Who are you?
That doesn't really matter right now, does it?
Ms. Delight, what are you doing here?
Nicky boy! The thing you've been looking for! I think I found it!
You mean that bag?
No, not the bag! What's in the bag? Well...
That's the sacred urn! Nick, it's the urn! I love it. I love that. Order! You, madam! That urn, where did you find it?
You'll never believe it. I was in the office of the famous... of the Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective.
Ace Detective!
Look at me. Oh, Desi, you're the best.
Sacred urn
little
updated in the
Ron.
court record.
I love Ronnie.
Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Acme? Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one.
Pathetic.
Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say?
Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It truly is sad.
You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved?
Before casting aspersions,
Yeah, sure.
at Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight. Is that correct? Yeah, what about it?
Oh, hello. I wanted, actually, okay, this is a new headcanon for when Luke comes back.
Yeah.
Freaking Tip Tap is the one passing him the coffee. Yes! She's just like, and a refill.
Whip! Agreed. How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? As the wife of a criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere, including the office of the good detective here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office! Please, madam. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to. You're wrong! I would never do such a thing!
Ms. Delight?
Please, Nicky boy! You've got to help me talk some sense into these people!
There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atme Detective Agency. I can prove where the urn was. By the fingerprints on it.
Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now! Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints, indeed! May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway.
Nick, what are you gonna do now?
I've come too far to turn back now. Abby must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn.
Can we save?
Yes, well, no, right here, probably. Can you save?
No.
Alright.
Alright, then we'll see you in the next episode.
Well,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is an episode, but we gotta save.
Well, yes, we'll keep going then.
Okay.
We'll go for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then we'll get to a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway?
Mr. Atme, do you recall the events of yesterday?
I'm so glad you remembered, by the way.
Hey, Nick, come on, open it up.
Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open his private property.
Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is an important investigation. Well, what's in there?
Hang on a sec. I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard and smooth.
Well, hello there. Hello. It is I, the Interdimensional Space Prince.
It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at the time, but I did touch what was inside.
What? You touched it?
And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard.
Good job.
Well,
Sunshine.
if you read the right fan fiction, that was just,
that was fan fiction.
no touch myself.
Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atme's office.
Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it?
Of course it does.
What did you say?
Not what I said, it's what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibit, said.
I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable.
If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Atme Detective Agency.
This blend. Godot blend number 107. I've decided. It's a little too bitter after all.
I love him so much.
He's so good.
I love Godot. Order! I accept the defense's request.
Just one of the
Bailiff, take this urn and... Wait! Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn. What are you saying?
Yes, I've finally broken him down.
He doesn't look broken. Oh, never mind, he is.
Take a good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. This guy's nuttier than a fruitcake.
Yeah.
You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only Mask to Mask. I hope you all enjoyed my little performance.
Oh, boy. You okay?
Yep.
Okay. We're close to the end of the segment, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Should we just keep going until then? You don't think so?
No, we don't. Or not. We have one more testimony.
One more testimony? Okay, well,
Well, Mr. Godot, what's Mr. Atme's condition?
he's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be.
Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of thief. Nick, you were right after all!
Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief.
The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight.
Hold it! Hold it! You're wrong! Wrong, I tell you! I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not really. What am I really trying to say is...
Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening.
The thief The sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures. It's me! I'm him! I'm the one you want! I'm the thief, I tell you! So do it! Pronounce me guilty, please!
What? I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but son of a bitch.
True identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass judge.
What are you talking about? I already confessed! I'm the thief, I tell you!
I like he's even not sure. Mr. Godot, don't just stand there drinking coffee without sharing.
Ha! There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes, sir? If you're really a man, you'll clean up your own mess. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean. If you are mask to mask, then prove it. That's what it means. Yes, sir! I'll be happy to!
He says he'll be happy to, Nick.
It's kind of cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy.
Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. I know that! I won't fail! I swear! Okay then, talk. We're all listening.
Oh well. Let's all have a listen to this confession.
Let's save that
And
for
that's
next
where we'll-
time.
Yep, that is where we'll stop.
Nah.
Bye, guys!